let's play this. So this is the conversation of these two guys that I overheard talking about pork. Let's play this clip.
Pigs sleep and root and shit. That's a filthy animal. I ain't eating nothing, ain't got
Joe,
sense enough to
start that from the
disregard its own
beginning.
feces.
That's in the middle.
How about a dog? Dog eats his own feces.
I don't eat dog
All right,
either.
so we got this clip here. Joe's
Yeah, but do you consider a dog to be a
No,
filthy
that's
animal?
not the beginning.
I wouldn't go so far as to call a dog filthy, but they're definitely
Joe,
dirty.
that's not the start. The middle of the conversation. All right, we'll get the. Give me the thumbs up when you have this teed up. But let me talk about it. So pork is something that you should avoid. Why? A pig will eat anything in its path, including a dead rat. Scientists now know that whatever the pig eats turns to meat on its bones. So if you eat the meat of a pig, you're going to put your body in virtual toxic shock. All right, so you get this teed up now? All right, so let's play this clip.
Want some bacon?
No, man, I don't eat pork.
Are you Jewish?
No, I ain't Jewish. I just don't dig on swine, that's all.
Why not?
Pigs are filthy animals. I don't eat filthy animals.
Yeah, but bacon tastes good. Pork chops taste good.
Hey, sewer rat may taste like pumpkin pie, but I'd never know because I wouldn't eat the filthy motherfuckers. Pigs sleep and root and shit. That's a filthy animal. I ain't eating nothing, ain't got sense enough to disregard its own feces.
How about a dog? Dog eats his own feces.
I don't eat dog either.
Yeah, but do you consider a dog to be a filthy animal?
I wouldn't go so far as to call a dog filthy, but they're definitely dirty. But dogs got personality. Personality goes a long way.
So by that rationale, if a pig had a better personality, he would cease to be a filthy animal. Is that true?
Well, we have to be talking about one charming motherfucking pig. I mean, he has to be 10 times more charming than that Arnold on Green Acres, you know what I'm saying?
Okay. That was not a real conversation that I overheard. That's from Pulp Fiction, and that was Samuel Jackson, and of course Vincent, played by John Travolta. But pork, stay away from. A pig eats its own feces. A pig eats anything in its path, even an organic pig. The meat takes 48 hours to be digested. So when you eat pork, the body goes into toxic shock. Most pig has trichinosis in it and other types of viruses, which cause the body's immune system, your immune system, to just overwork. It takes blood away from the brain. It has a very low vibration, lowering the body vibration. So ideally, stay away from pork. And if you can stay away from pork, you will just notice that your energy levels over about 3 or 4 months of no pork consumption, that your energy levels will start going up, your mental clarity will go up. Big advantage. Now, I am not a fanatic. So, for example, I shy away from pork. And by the way, I'm Italian. I grew up on pork. Pork chops, bacon, pork sausages. We had pork all the time. Roast pork. I didn't die. No one's going to die. But I decided at one point to stay away from pork, and I wanted to monitor how I felt. So after about 3 months of no pork, I thought to myself, I really don't notice a big difference. So I went to a restaurant, and I ordered, that was known for their pork chops, and I ordered the pork chops. Number one, I didn't find that they tasted appealing to me anymore. It was like, wow, I used to love pork, and it just doesn't appeal to me. I couldn't even eat the whole thing. And then I felt so sluggish afterwards. That's when I noticed the big difference. So you might want to stay away from pork as best you can. But again, I'm not a fanatic. I was in Rotterdam, Germany, south of Munich, and I met the owner of the hotel I was staying at, and he invited me to dinner at his house. So I went there, and he said, my wife drove to Nuremberg to get some very special Nuremberg sausages. They're only available in Nuremberg. They're very special. Well, it's a 2-hour drive each way. So she spent 4 hours in the car just to get sausages for me, which are 100% pork. I'm not going to say, well, thanks, but I don't eat pork. I'm a dick. I'm not going to do that. I'm going to say, fine. And so I ate the pork sausages. They, quite frankly, were delicious. And, I didn't notice a big difference afterwards. But the bottom line is pork, you can't put it in the health food category, but I also know people that are 95 years old that eat pork all the time. This is one of the things that if you reduce from your diet or eliminate all the blood work, all the hormone levels, it's going to show it is healthy and it is going to increase not only your lifespan, the number of years you have in your life, but the amount of life you have in your years. Your energy levels could go up, your skin could look improved, but also your ability to communicate into the ether, that sixth sense. Pork will reduce it. This is why all gurus or spiritual gurus stay away from pork 100%, and many of them stay away from meat as well because it will reduce, because they're lower frequency foods. Next, shellfish. Oh boy. I grew up on shellfish. I grew up in Boston. Every Friday, because it was a big Catholic area, so on the Catholics back then, you couldn't eat meat on Friday. So Friday, everybody went out for fried fish. So we got the fisherman's platter, which was fried cod or haddock, fried scallops, fried shrimp, fried clams, sometimes fried mussels. And then, of course, crab. Oh, lobster. Oh. Why shy away from shellfish? Here's why. More people get sick from eating, quote, bad shellfish than any other food group on the planet. More people every year die from eating bad shellfish than any other food group on the planet. More people are allergic to shellfish or have allergic reactions that are quantifiable and they can see it. More people are allergic to shellfish than any other food group on the planet. Shellfish, and let me define shellfish. It's not just fish that comes in a shell, like a clam or a mussel or a crab or a lobster or a scallop. But it's really any fish in water that does not have scales and fins. That's the rule. Stay away from or avoid anything that comes out of water that doesn't have scales and fins. Why? So a catfish has fins but no scales. You would stay away from that. Squid, octopus. They're not shellfish, but you stay away. No scales, no fins. Why? Anything that doesn't have scales and fins, shellfish, and the other items I mentioned, squid, octopus, catfish, and so on, they're filters. They absorb whatever toxin is in the water, and they keep the toxins in their flesh that you are eating. This is why when I grew up in Boston, we had sometimes the red tide. The red tide would come in, which are these red microorganisms like an algae, and they're poisonous. You couldn't swim. You couldn't go out and swim in the ocean. If there was a red tide, you'd get sick. But you also couldn't eat the shellfish that came out of Boston Harbor or the area because those shellfish absorbed the toxin in the water and you would get sick or potentially die from eating anything that came out of the water when there was a red tide. But you could eat the haddock, the mackerel, the cod, and the flounder because they had scales and fins. So those fish you could eat. They would filter out the toxins and the flesh was pure. So if you stay away from shellfish, it's just like pork. Now, I'll tell you a funny story. Mike Siegel and I, Mike Siegel, he's the 10-time world champion pool player, winningest player of all time. We were on the road together, traveling around, having some fun. And we were going from city to city to city, and Mike loves to go out dining. And, of course, we're staying in motels. We're going to go out to restaurants. And we like to go out and have a nice meal. So in this one particular city, we stop, and they have mussels on the menu. Mike says, I love mussels. Anytime mussels are on the menu, I'm ordering them. So he orders the mussels. The next day, he's sick. A couple days later, we stop at another restaurant. Mussels are on the menu again. We're in another city. He orders the mussels. The next day, he's sick. A few days later, we're in another city, another different restaurant. Mussels are on the menu. He orders them. Next day, he's sick. I go, Mike, do you realize that every time you order mussels, the next day you're sick? He goes, really? I'm going to order them tonight, see what happens tomorrow. So he orders them. Next day, he's sick. He goes, okay. Next day, that night, he doesn't